So if somebody ever asks, I don't want to talk to AI or, let me talk to David or whoever it may be, turn on the human handover. So that way I get notified when somebody asks for that. And then the bot turns off and I can jump in and handle the conversation. Can also do that if there's lack of information or fail to resolve an issue, which is fantastic. So people aren't stuck in an endless AI loop, which is, again, one of the concerns I get. Well, if somebody doesn't want to talk to it, how do I avoid them having to just go through the process over and over again? Transfer bot. So when people talk about setting up like an AI call center or an AI, essentially agency, right? You can have your AI receptionist to handle all inbound inquiries and then transfer and set up an additional bot, whether it's just general FAQs about the business, whether it's a current client asking about something with their product or service, or if they're ready to book an appointment, you can transfer that to a schedule bot. So that's how you keep every bot in their line. And so you keep the training, the information simple and direct, which allows the AI to be more concise in their responses and make everything run smoothly. And that's how you can set up everybody to handle their roles in an exceptional way. And the new feature that I love is the auto follow-up, right? So a lot of times we get people in the door or get people interested, and it would be perfect if they all booked an appointment or bought our products and services right away, but we know that's not the case. So the proof is always in the follow-up. So the way that we can do that now is if the contact has stopped responding, we can actually set up to 5 additional follow-up times, minutes later, days later, hours later, whatever it needs to be. And then we have a couple options. So we can, based on the conversation already being had, we can have AI actually send the message, or if we have a workflow that we set up for emails and SMS for the follow-up, we can have that trigger the workflow as well. And so that way they're getting instant responses with the bot, but then if they don't take the desired action right away, we can have our follow-ups in place. So that way it's not on us to remember and have to do it. So I love this feature and it's worked very well and it's really taken a lot off my plate, which is one of my goals is to make life more enjoyable and reduce our time spent on admin tasks. And then that works same thing if they're busy, you can set up to 5 additional follow-ups. And then if they requested a specific time in the future, that's also great. So at the requested time, again, we can let AI send the message or trigger the workflow. Um, and so that's on the conversational piece, and then we can test it right in here to see an example. Harold, do you want to see any messages back and forth, an example, or do you want me to move on? I was going to go into voice AI next.
Yeah, I think you can move on, David. You're good.
Sure. And then on the voice AI piece, so a lot of the same structures in place. So once you have the conversational piece or vice versa set up, it's easy to do this as well. And so we'll go look at mine that I've set up. The AI has gotten much better in terms of responsiveness, the different voices available to us. So they're partnered with 11 Labs, which is one of the leaders in the AI sounding or AI voices. So there are tons of options, different accents, different countries, male, female. And then it's multilingual as well. So these are all the languages that are available. The multilingual switching back and forth between English and Spanish. I had my wife, who's a native Spanish speaker, test it out, and she said the accuracy in the words and the grammar was correct. She just wasn't thrilled with the accent, but was able to switch back and forth seamlessly. Now, with the AI again, we're going to give the knowledge base to choose from, of course. And then in the prompting, it's similar to what we did with the conversational. We just adjust it for voice. So it's probably not going to look more advanced than or complicated than the one I have because mine's actually set up to do a whole role play and demo scenario, and then actually transition into a selling aspect. Now, during and after the call, there are tons of different options available. And so One of the first things I set up, especially with voice, if somebody calls in and they say, "Hey, I don't want to talk to AI or let me talk to a human," boom, I'm going to transfer that call to the owner, to somebody that's on staff right away. So that way they're not stuck in that loop. It's one of the first things I set up. We've all been stuck in those IVR systems. So want to avoid that at all costs. But additionally, so during the call, it can actually get real-time information. We can have it send text messages. For example, if somebody calls in and we want the AI to gather information, qualify a lead, and then book an appointment, the AI can book right onto the calendar, or we can have it text the calendar link to them, and that'll be sent and received while they're still on the phone. So that text message will come through, so we can do that right then and there. So there's no delay in them getting the text. And then after the call, so extract the name, the email, and then it's actually going to create a contact profile, open up and put in all that information. So we have all that. We don't have to do any of that manually. And then after that, we can set to trigger a workflow if it's follow-up, if it's appointment reminders and confirmations. So that way we can get all that stuff done and automated. So our AI is answering the phone, it's doing the appointment booking, and it's sending out the reminders. So we're saving our mental and emotional strength to actually show up to the appointment and give our best self. One of the features I love is that after the email, or after the call, excuse me, you're going to get an email sent to you, which actually has an entire call summary and transcript. So it'll tell you the outcome of the call, what happened, the caller's, information, and then give you a word for word transcript. And then you're able to go in and say, this is where you go to the prompting and say, hey, in this call, I noticed you responded this way in this question. Boom, next time that comes up, we adjust the prompt and give the answer that we wanted to say, right? So that's how we constantly train and adjust it. Again, the more customer interactions that we have, the better trained it's going to be. One of the common questions I always get asked, do I need a new phone number or how will this integrate with my current one? It's a great question. And so we'll have to get you a new phone number. But the cool thing about it is if you have strictly a business number right now, you have two options. We can just replace that with the AI number, or you can forward that business number to the AI number. And that way you don't have to change it on your Google business profile or on your website. And so that's how it integrates seamlessly. And then additional options that we have is, let's say you want to have the opportunity to answer the phone first, but if it rings 3 or 4 times, well, we can have the AI pick up. So that way, at least they're getting an answer every single time and not going to voicemail. Additionally, if you want to set working hours, so if you don't want it to answer during the day, you only want it after hours, we can set specific working hours here. So a couple great options, completely flexible, which makes it easy to integrate into your business. And then dashboards and logs. So you can see it's going to track all this information. So total duration, average call duration, and then you can see these numbers. And then here's where it shows you a summary of the call. And this is what's also sent in the email as well. So you're going to have all this information and that's tracked. You can see the word for word transcript.